Everybody, and welcome to a video that's probably going to be over 30 minutes, maybe 40, if I end up analysing a lot. The highest is 50 amount, really. So, yeah, I'm hoping to make 3 videos, 2 Sun and Moon Show related, another one Sandra size, because yes, I know I said the channel was going to be other things and other times, and I didn't actually do it, including Ninja Turtles and Murder Drones, but I am doing this one because, well, I will. It's a very funny comedian, and I think you guys can benefit from it as well. I mean, if you like this show, you gotta love Sandra Sides. So, let's get into it.
Hey, Earth.
Hi.
So...
Give me your
How's
problems,
everything been going?
mate.
Kind of a loaded question.
Well, it is intentionally vague, so you can answer how you please.
Right.
I'm gonna say this right now. Anyone who answers, "Are you okay?" with "I am okay," is not okay. Just saying.
Still trying to find a way to fix the solar situation. I think I have a potential idea, but it's difficult to work out the details too.
Okay.
Keeping Sun in the loop has been going fine. I feel like we're talking more, but that might just be me.
Do you want to try and check in with Sun at some point and see how he's doing and if if he wants any changes?
I would if it wasn't for a recent event.
Oh? What happened?
So,
Oh, are we finally gonna dive into that? Maybe this might be a 50-minute video.
recently was the 1 year since I got here.
Oh. I see.
And I'd been thinking for a while that I wanted to talk with the old me.
Is that, well, now that you're talking about it, is it possible?
I'm not surprised you're acting this way, Earth. I'm just sitting here. I'm
It
just
already
here.
happened.
Oh. That's a big thing to do. Sure you want to talk about it.
Yeah. I kept Sun in the loop about that. He was a little nervous, obviously.
Yeah, I could imagine.
It was surreal.
You got your answers.
He was a lot more sarcastic than I was, or am, which I find impressive with how sarcastic I am normally.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. I'm not going to dive into that. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible.
He did have a message for you.
Oh?
Yeah, that was the weird thing, is Monty said he wasn't consciously aware, basically, of everything that was going on, but when I went in there, he kind of, since he was semi-awake, he was kind of able to experience the things I had, or at least see them in some vague sense.
Mm-hmm.
So he had comments about stuff. But he had a message for you and Lunar, respectively.
Okay.
As one for you was simply, he's sorry he never got to meet you.
Yeah, it was a pretty inconvenient time when I came around.
Yeah, you were one of the first people I met.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate that I didn't get to meet the old him, but I'm really grateful I get to know you. Because what I've heard, not to rip on whatever happened in the past, it's just from what I've gathered around Sun, just in general conversations around you and him at the beginning, it didn't seem very good. I don't want to judge. I don't know everything. I recognize that.
No, that's fair.
So, I mean, I'd like to have met them to gauge my own opinion of them,
Right.
but I'm glad I know you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
but how are you feeling, you know?
Sorry, I'm hardly
I don't
talking.
know
I'm just
if I
taking
even
this
got
in.
what I wanted out of it.
Well, what did you want out of that?
Closure?
To understand him and his thought processes behind everything that he did. Why he did things the way he did, why he acted the way he did. If I was, or am, actively not better than him, but
You did get those answers, though. But I do also know that feeling. Like, you have had mystery your whole life, and when you finally have a chance to get answers, when you ask the questions, and they give you, quote unquote, an answer, you can't really put it together, and it takes a lot of time to process. I still haven't processed it when it happened to me. I mean, everyone has that.
healthier. And I don't know if I am.
Well, what conclusions did you draw? Or did you draw any?
He loved all of you. So much. Even though he didn't meet you, he still cared about you. And Sun especially. He doesn't want Sun to even speak with him. It's possible, potentially, for Sun to do what I did and speak with the old me. But he doesn't want Sun to do that.
Has Sun mentioned wanting to do that?
He
Yes.
said maybe when I called him. He wasn't sure, though. Obviously, it's a big thing to take in.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
going to
is.
see your dead brother. That has a lot of things to think about.
And
And
especially
your
for
dead
him.
twin, for anything.
Honestly, I know I wouldn't be able to help with that. Any conversation that the two of them would have, I can't help with. But I do think it'd be beneficial for Sun.
I think it would be too. But
And I
That's
agree.
a big thing to do.
if I'm being honest, I think the old me is kind of scared of having that conversation.
The thing is that they're gone now.
He is. And he knows that.
There's nothing to be scared of anymore. There's nothing they can do other than
He's scared of his legacy. Don't do a Hamilton thing. You are not doing that because that would just get too long.
this one conversation to try and make it right. And it might not.
Well, from his perspective, there is something to be scared of. His being. He's not even properly dead, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a kind of state of perpetual comatose. He can't.
So brain dead is what you're saying. Like when the brain is dead but the body is still alive and kind of in coma, like you can maintain it being alive, but once you pull out the plug, it won't even survive for any point at all, really. So basically he's brain dead is what you're saying?
Move. He can't talk. But I can only imagine that his mind is still mildly active. Even if it's just simply reliving everything or re-experiencing it in some odd way. Like a person rewatching a YouTube video.
That would be torturous. Imagine. Just imagine it. I'm not good.
I think he's scared of if he has that conversation, that's all he'll re-see. And
PTSD?
depending on how Sun reacts, I can kind of get where he's coming from.
Well, so he doesn't want to bring the trauma back up for him.
Well, I obviously don't know everything about it. I
Right.
just always think if there is never gonna be a chance like this again, and, you know, even if you have this technology to talk to Old Moon, I don't think you're gonna do it often. I don't think there's a point for you to do it often.
I don't even know if I ever want to do it again.
Exactly.
I would.
But if this is one thing,
I mean, it's basically talking to Albert Einstein. Yes, I'm comparing him to Albert Einstein. Don't judge me. Yes, he did horrible things in the past. Yes, he's sarcastic. Yes, all that stuff. But again, he's a carbon copy of me, and also he's a genius. It'd be like literally asking... asking Oppenheimer the exact steps of making the nuclear bomb.
that Sun can do to make himself feel better, I think we both should encourage it. Even if
Right.
Old Moon doesn't like it, because I feel like no matter what the outcome is, both are going to walk away with clarity. And even if he has to relive that over and over again, at least he can ponder it. I don't know,
And at
maybe
least
that's
he
cruel
can
of me
see
to
his
say,
brother again.
but I think you're
It's
a
this
good...
kind of stuff that makes me cry, like, with all this stuff, like, mentally stuff, and not mental stuff and all that, not like, you know, like with characters dying and all that, and like, mental struggles. That is what makes me cry. And that is why Bluey makes me cry all the time. And please give me a season 4. I need a season 4. I will refuse to accept that Surprise was the final season. I still want to flash forward of Bingo and Lila being married. Please.
Brother Moon for at least considering all these options here.
The things he said, I understood why. It's almost like something clicked in my head. Not to the same degree in which he did what he did, but I didn't sympathize necessarily, but I understood.
Understood. Yeah,
He only ever did what he did to try and protect everybody.
even if it hurt the people he was trying to care about.
Yeah. Son especially.
Mm-hmm.
And he blames himself for everything that's happened to us.
I mean,
But I wouldn't necessarily blame him for everything.
if you think about it... Time to do a Google search real quick. Okay. My Google search was, did Oppenheimer regret making the atomic bomb? And apparently, he never expressed regret. He always maintains that he didn't regret it, and it was important to do it at the time. And they do get some of this across in the movie. Oh my god. I think we found this is a joke, by the way, which spirit is inside Moon's body.
Everything that's happened. But a lot of the stuff is a consequence to actions that were taken with maybe the best interests in mind.
He made Eclipse. Who made Blood Moon? He made KC.
Yes, I remember all this. I was
I
told.
know.
But I get it. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff happened.
But a lot of good stuff came out of it too. If Eclipse never existed, you would never have had Lunar. And if Eclipse never existed, you and Sun would have never been this close. Earth would probably not even really be... It's a lot of stuff, good things that have happened to this day would never have happened. Across
And
the shows.
I bet he wishes he could take that back. And it's not fair we have to deal with it, but that's life. We gotta deal with things we don't really want to deal with.
I'm sure it.
Do I want to quote Rebus from Sandra's Sides? Yes, I do. Why not? Life is full of things people would rather. Life is just people seeing, hearing, and experiencing things that they would rather not see, hear, or experience. That's my boy.
It's related to other things that he did, but he said he didn't regret anything he'd done. Obviously, I think aside from hurting us, he would do it all again. He told me that if it meant protecting all of you, then I should do what he did.
Wow,
Then
Deku.
he later apologized and said he doesn't expect me to give up my life. But he wants me to protect all of you, which I was going to do anyway, but hearing an older version of myself not directly say, but inadvertently say, die for your family.
Yeah, that kinda...
It gives you mixed messages, very much so. But honestly, I would die for my family too. It's very mixed things right now.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it is a lot. And, you know, you don't have to do that.
Nope.
I know. But I don't know if I wouldn't.
That's a fair thing.
He absolutely
I don't
would
think you
do
need an
that.
older version of you to tell you how you would react to situations. If there was a situation where you would need to give your life for something,
I wouldn't
mean,
doubt it.
in a technical way, you already
I mean,
did.
he's literally Robert Downey Jr. No, what? He's literally Tony Stark's in every single way. Like, Old Moon was him before Infinity War. And this Moon is him after Infinity War, still with the sass and everything.
With this whole Old Moon thing, Old Moon gave up their memories, their life.
At least it was a Pepsi Max ad. Bite me, Pepsi's better than Coke. Specifically Pepsi Max. I do not like soda with sugar. Bite me.
Yeah, but that's him, not me.
That's him. Yeah. You don't have to do it. Technically, you already did it once. Even if you don't remember it. You're a different person. Which is fair to say, you can value your own life over others. That doesn't make you selfish. It just means you...
I mean, in Old Moon's defense, he had a lot of guilt on his shoulders, and not to mention an entire inferiority complex. I hate my dyslexia. God.
Want to preserve your own life.
Well, it's not just preserving my own life. He understood Sun better than I do. And said things that I don't disagree with. I think Sun would do what he did if it came to the chance came.
Yep, he has survivor's guilt to the extreme. Holy crap. He does, really. I do not like saying that word, but I think you know which word I mean by that. It's not a swear word, but it starts with S.
Not to escape what has happened, but I think Sun is more self-destructive than he wants to admit.
He is! Which is why I actually recommend cleaning! If he cleans up, that's his own way of essentially coping with things. It's just... And trust me, if you want to understand things more with my reaction series of Sandra's sides, you will find out more and why I say these things. I haven't uploaded any videos yet, but I will.
And that scares me.
Rightfully so,
I
he's your
personally
brother.
don't think Sun is as destructive as people think he is. I think Sun is really strong.
He is extremely
And-
strong.
I know he's strong.
I think he's come to realize he can rely on us. And
He's very
I think
strong.
he started to do that more because he's a good person. He's a good brother.
He's an amazing brother.
You're a good brother. To care about him, to think he might have these tendencies and worry about him.
I mean, he does have the tendency.
You know about the alcohol, right?
Yes. In fact, I'm not concerned over it.
I mean, you've been living with the gator, so I get it, but I would be. I mean, he's drowning his sorrows away. But I mean, it is better than HARM.
Well,
I've had conversations with him about it, and
I'm
the
not-
result of which I don't really think it's a problem.
I'm not necessarily concerned about the alcohol. I'm concerned about the concept behind it. We can't necessarily get drunk unless we become bioorganic or we build that concept into our bodies or whatever. So it's not like he...
And it's extremely painful. I take back what I said about the SH. He kinda, maybe he has done it. Oh my god.
is getting... What? Yeah. This is not about Sun. This is about me.
I know, but not to make it about him. I understand what you're worried about, and that's a huge thing about you.
I mean, you go to therapy to talk
And if it
about the
makes
things
you
you
feel
worry
better-
about, so.
You know, recently, he hasn't been doing that as much. He's actually switched to tea. If you see in the mornings, he drinks tea with me.
I've noticed. And that does help.
I think all this adventuring he's had to go through, all this stress he's had to go through with Eclipse, with you being, like, you know, the forgetting everything, it's just he hasn't had a break, and then he finally gets one. And I think he's starting to feel better. And I think we should... Well, also, you can still be worried about him. It's good to be
I would be
supportive
worried.
that, hey, if you want to break too, Moon,
I'm saying this right now. If Sun figures out how to do, if the thing that Eclipse said would bring Eclipse, bring back Solar, doesn't work. If Sun figures out how to do it, I would not doubt he'd jump straight into the portal to do so. I'm not doubting that, because it's not a good thing, I'm just saying.
you can. If I want to break, I can.
I know.
And if you want to talk to Sun about it more, I'm happy to help with it.
Maybe a little bit down the line.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sound dismissive over everything with Sun. It's just,
No,
I talk with him a lot, more than people realize I do.
Yeah. I know what
I mean,
you're
you have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah. But what else is on your mind?
The feeling of mediocrity, of inability.
Ah,
It almost
inferiority complex. I said that first time and I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. I'm just, God.
got hammered home when I talked to the old moon.
Because you thought he was better than you?
No,
Smarter,
Because he-
yes. But
I hardly.
not necessarily smarter. You're both smart in different ways. Everyone's smart in the exact same way. IQ and EQ are two separate things unless you are really stupid. But then again, you could be stupid but really good at other things as well. Like, you could be a complete idiot but be the world's greatest chef.
To even speak, and he knew what I was thinking.
Well, he is in your mind. Maybe that is an explanation?
Yeah. But he said something when I was getting ready to leave.
Oh?
He said that I've been holding myself back.
What does that mean?
That in fear of being like him, I'm not thinking potential options, or I'm not taking potentially needed risks, or etc.
Etc.
I'm subconsciously stopping myself from thinking too big in fear that it'll
I mean, I
make
know
me
that.
seem more like him.
Oh, so you don't want to seem like him. What does that mean? You
He
don't...
caused a lot of harm.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't his fault.
I don't want to be the cause for people experiencing more.
Yeah, you don't want to do something that hurts somebody.
Not at all.
That's a fair thing. I relate. I do the same thing. I go out of my way to make sure I don't hurt people's feelings or hurt people. I won't encourage you to start looking at options that might result in you hurting people, but if you feel like you're holding yourself back, why don't you just allow yourself to explore those possibilities? You don't have to act on them.
Oh, hell no. I mean, yes, we're going back to intrusive thoughts here. If you fear them, then they'll only become worse. If you acknowledge that they're a part of life, but you also don't have to dig in for meaning. Again, we'll get into
I
that.
think it
with
makes
some
yourself
fights.
better that you're not acting on those ideas. Because one of the whole things about Old Moon was that he hurt people, and you don't want to be that way.
Right.
And that's good that you haven't done that. So I wouldn't think too much on that because you've already achieved your goal. You're not like Old Moon. You're not hurting people. You're not hurting Sun. You're not destroying things to get your goal. You've made it. Just keep on this track.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I don't know.
Slight zoom in of the camera.
A part of me, I think, is worried that if I even start thinking like that,
You'll do it.
eventually.
Again, we'll get into that
The thing is,
in a different
you
series
listen to
and
criticism.
make references to this.
If you start going down that path, you have us. Lunar, Sun, me. We'll tell you. That's a bad idea.
Directly, they will not hesitate. That's a good thing about siblings. They will not hesitate.
I think another part of me is worried that if I start thinking like that right now, especially, I'm gonna do something dumb.
Yeah.
Old Moon had Monty to kind of hold him back. Even that didn't work. I'm not nearly as close with Monty as he was.
Mm-hmm.
To put what
I
people
had
ship them.
Solar to kind of keep me in check.
Yeah.
Now he's gone. I know the rest of you will stop me.
But you won't know if you'll listen.
I don't know if I could.
Reasonable concern.
It's one of those things that the more this hovers over me, not his legacy, but his history. It eats away at
Every
me
time I hear legacy, I just want to start rapping.
more. The history It was the first things I experienced when I woke up.
So
I had a day.
self-traumatized.
Maybe 2, before Eclipse was bearing down my throat, blaming me for things I never did. And even when I explained that, he didn't care.
Because of his traumatized.
I
I'll
don't
forever
necessarily hate
keep
Eclipse, but
analyzing him.
I know to some extent people still look at me and see what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame him. I have the same face.
Same
And then I
voice.
think about Casey. I hardly knew the guy. He wasn't even a part of my code. He completely re-altered his entire
Existence.
He was a kill code. Something designed to hurt people. And
But then he became a SoundCloud rapper on Tinder.
easier than the old moon. Or Eclipse. Or anybody. Realized he didn't want to do that and changed on a dime. And it's awe-inspiring to an extent. But it's terrifying to another. Because I can think about the opposite of that. Of somebody snapping and no longer being kind-hearted and wanting to help.
Very good, very good.
But instead wanting to only bring about death and destruction.
Put these stuff together and you get Eclipse.
And all these dimensions, these
Rowan as
entities
well.
that are from them that are wanting to do things. Hell, I don't even know where that molten wire Freddy is.
Can't remember what his name was.
I don't know what it wants, other than Eclipse and ruin. Well, ruin, not even Eclipse.
Yeah.
And a part of me feels like I should be more mad at ruin. Obviously, I'm upset for what he did,
But you saw a reason.
but I don't feel like I'm upset enough.
Feel guilty for not being
I
upset.
feel that way quite often, honestly. That I'm not being angry enough. At times.
I remember from Sun when he told me everything that one, like a long time ago about things, that the old moon would get angry quite a lot. So I think you're doing okay, not getting angry, and honestly, you don't have to get angry. I think you're upset enough. I think you're sad for what happened to Solar. I'm sad.
I mean, everyone copes in a different way. I mean, I literally did an entire essay to one of my best friends about one of my most traumatic experiences all my life. And I had a similar experience to Moon.
Angry. I hate. I cry. And that's okay.
Never thought I'd hear you
It's
say
okay
the
to
word
not
hate.
hate or to cry. That's grief. It's okay not to get emotional.
Right.
Sometimes emotional doesn't happen for a long time.
Then you just snap.
I'm sorry I didn't really answer everything else at the
Well,
beginning.
not really snap, but you finally have it processed.
I don't really know a lot of things to help with that, but I do know more of the emotional
You're fine.
aspect. And if it feels better to get it out there, yeah.
Thank you.
Write a book.
Of course.
Or an essay.
It does help.
I just want to support you. That's all I want to do.
Thank you. I think that's more or less it.
Okay.
You wanna go get food?
Yeah, sure. You want to go get, I always say ice cream after therapy sessions because it really is a nice sweet treat to help, with the
Actually, I recommend chocolate. Chocolate helps a lot after a stressful situation.
the big bad feelings, but, maybe we can get yogurt,
How does sushi sound?
soup.
You love sushi. I do not. I actually love sushi. It's one of my top 5 favorite foods. I was going to say I do not disagree, but then it might say that I do not like it. But I'm just going on a weird rant. I'm just going to stop.
She
I love
sounds
it.
good, yes. And I want frozen yogurt
Still
afterwards.
pretty early.
Yeah. Frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt.
Okay, correct review, 9 out of 10, not best, not worst. Man, I'm going to have to take a while for this to process. It's going to take a while to process, actually. About the Reddit thing, just instead of doing the link thing, because that's just going very, very weirdly, and I absolutely, God, it's annoying and stressful. You just go into Reddit and just search it up. It works. I did it on my many things on my own thing and on a different account as well to see if it was on private or anything like that. I don't know anything. I just think I'll try my hardest. Maybe just type it in and not go through the thing and just search it in the actual app itself. Anyway, that is it, my kings and queens and the non-binary in-betweens. I will be filming the next one and then Sandra sides. Bye-bye.